In this video, we're going to summarize the entire history of Snowchester and how it will play a huge role with Dream and Technoblade escaping Pandora's Vault. Now, before we get into everything, please subscribe. We just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane, and if you're not subscribed, what are you doing? Thank you, and enjoy the video. On January 7th, 2021, Tubbo left on his journey to find a new place to build a home, since his previous one wasn't exactly at peak living conditions. The day before this, January 6th, L'Manberg went through one of the most tragic, or even the most tragic, events in its entire history, Doomsday, and Tubbo's house was right in the middle of it. His main goal for this new area was to create a place with no government, so he could easily hide from both Technoblade and Philza. The place that first piqued his interest was a snowy biome by the ocean, and after thoroughly examining the area, he decided this would be the one. He decided to name it Snowchester, and he quickly began the construction of his new house. Though it wasn't very long until TommyKnit frantically interrupted his building, asking for a huge favor from him. But that's for another video. One of the most important events in Snowchester's history then took place on January 9th, the attempt to fix Rambo's long-term memory loss. The first idea was strange, but had a lot of potential. Tubbo wanted to strike a block above Rambo's head with lightning, though they soon found out thunderstorms didn't take place in snowy biomes, so it was thrown away. The next plan was much more creative and actually worked. They built a tower beside Tubbo's house, now known as the Cannon Castle, and dropped an anvil one block above Rambo's head. This plan didn't end up working out either in the end, but we just got more watch time, so let's go. In the days following, the nation received a new member, but they weren't just there to join the nation, they were there to spy. Jack Manifold had been working alongside Nikki to get revenge on TommyKnit and Dream for destroying L'Manberg and ruining their lives, which I am so here for. Like, imagine waking up and your entire nation is gone because some kid got his music disc taken. I'd be upset too. Jack initially denied the invitation, insisting he wanted to stay in his beloved Jack Manifold land, but once L'Manberg was, well, gone, Tubbo convinced him otherwise. Jack also joined because he figured getting closer to Tubbo could help him and Nikki figure out the plan they had to get back the discs, so they could plan the final demise. The one and only reason for the creation of Snowchester was then revealed: Project Dreamcatcher. While Snowchester appeared as a new, peaceful society, its only actual purpose was to hide Tubbo's nuclear missiles project. The intention of this project was to create such powerful nuclear warheads that they could destroy vast amounts of land and entities within a short amount of time, including Dream. Tubbo insisted that the nukes would only be used as a deterrent to keep players like Dream and Technoblade away from Snowchester, and to allow Snowchester to form independence without any interruptions. But let's be honest, this is Tubbo we're talking about. Some arson is most definitely going to be done. The project was revealed on January 17th, and the responsibility was handed to Jack, now referred to as the Minister of Science. The operation was to have multiple structures built under Jack's control: the research lab, the control pads, and the launch pad, to ensure no issues would come to play during the inevitable doomsday of Snowchester. Project Dreamcatcher had its first ever test on January 26th, and the results were insane. Jack and Tubbo gathered on the testing site, and without Tubbo's knowledge, Jack told Tommy to meet him directly at the nuke's landing spot, hoping it would end Tommy's reign of chaos on the server. And we have good news and bad news. Bad news, when it was all done, Tommy had only been 30 seconds late to the explosion, meaning his reign of chaos would live on. But good news, the nuke was a complete success. The missile launch created a crater that went all the way down to bedrock, meaning Snowchester had successfully mastered nukes. Well, for now at least. We'll go over that horrific event soon. Once Dream was officially in prison, Tubbo decided to decommission the creation of the two remaining nukes, since the main target was no longer a threat to the nation. Plus, using missiles would bring way too much undesired attention to Snowchester, but it turns out it would be a little too late for that. On March 6th, 4 investigators showed up: Philza, Technoblade, Nikki, and Rambo. Since the Syndicate was a secret group, Tubbo innocently thought nothing of it, but he figured it was best to keep the nukes a secret. For now at least. Now, it's time we address the literal most important part of this nation: the members. There's currently 6 members, making this the largest faction on the Dream SMP. These members include Tubbo, the founder, and Jack Manifold, the Minister of Science, along with citizens Rambo, Captain Puffy, Michael, Michelle, and TommyKnit. Foolish was previously a member of this nation, but then left for Las Nevadas, even after building this giant mansion. Talk about dedication, geez. And you may be wondering, wait, there's a giant mansion? And yeah, the way I described Snowchester made it sound like a wasteland, even though it's the exact opposite. Snowchester features many important canonical buildings, such as Tubbo's new home, Squeak's gravestone, we'll never forget you, Squeaks, the Cannon Castle, the electric chair, Tubbo's vault with Dream's infamous nightmare armor, the giant mansion, and this thing is huge, like just look at it. Look! The Cookie Outpost, from Major Lore in a previous video that you should go watch, self-promo PogChamp, TommyNet's Memorial, all that whack Project Dreamcatcher structures we talked about earlier, like the lab, launchpad, and control panels, which I guess are kind of important when using nuclear technology, but it's whatever. The interrogation room, Jack Puffy's and Foolish's homes, Puffy's Pastries, a small stand owned by Puffy beside the Nuclear Development Lab, which is most definitely not safe, but I don't think the server has health regulations, so go off I guess. Slimeskull's Hobbit hole, which is just a hole now, he kinda just left it. Project Dreamcatcher's launch system, aka Super Fast Tube, and of course, the stone wall border, a replacement for the previous flimsy wooden wall that was built before. But this wall sadly remains unfinished, leaving Snowchester open to invaders. Excuse me. I seriously believe Snowchester is going to play a huge part of the future lore of the Dream SMP, especially in how Dream and Technoblade escape Pandora's vault. There is literally no cooler of a way to escape prison than from exploding half of it with a giant nuke, and considering Rambo seems to be getting possessed by Dream, it's only a matter of time before, you know, If you enjoyed this video, you should subscribe and even watch another one if you have time, because it really helps out the channel way more than you know. I would appreciate a ton if you could comment any other summaries you'd like to see in the future, or even just things you're confused about, because I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. I'll see you in the next one.